This is the brand new Toyota Aygo X. It's had a big tech upgrade. It's now a full hybrid for the very first time. And as you can see, the front design has changed a lot. And because it's a full hybrid, we get impressive MPG. More on that a little bit later. Compared to the outgoing version, this new Aygo X looks so much more different on the front end, much more aggressive. And actually, it looks quite like the RAV4. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. On this design trim, there are 4 different colours you can choose from, and they all have a spice theme. This one is called Tarragon, and in certain lights, it either looks green or it looks grey, depending on how much of a bright day it is. This one is also has a 2-tone black effect, which you can see on the side, and the other colours are cinnamon, jasmine and lavender. And if you go for the one of the top spectrums, the matching colours do also have a play inside. For what's quite a small car, we actually get some quite large alloy wheels. These ones are 18 inches, they have quite a nice interesting design. If you go for that base trim, they will be 17 inches instead. So for this new Aygo X, there are 4 different trim levels you can choose from, ranging from quite an affordable £21,595 for the base spec Icon. That goes all the way up to £26,895 if you want to get the sports focused GR Sport model. And there are 2 different trim levels in between. The one in this video is the number 2 spec, and it is called Design. This new version of the Aygo X is now a hybrid only, replacing the outgoing 1-litre 3-cylinder that we had before. Because it is a hybrid only, we can actually run the car in EV only mode, and the engine itself is now 1.5 litres in size. That whole system combined, so the engine and the electric motors, gives you a total of 114 brake horsepower. And then underneath the rear seats is the battery pack, which on this car is 0.76 kilowatt hours. Now, compared to the outgoing version, the interior of this new Aygo X looks pretty much the same. Got an interesting curvaceous design with this gloss black plastic on the dashboard, and we've got a lot of hard plastic up here, which is no bad thing considering the price point of the entry-level version of this car. On this one, because it is the design trim, we do have some interesting colour accents. So there are some colour accents around the air vents, and you have got the bodywork showing through on the door card as well. The build quality is actually rather excellent. All the things the driver does touch, like the steering wheel, all the stalks, the gear shifter, it all feels high quality, and it feels like you're actually doing something purposeful. It's quite a nice, satisfying feeling. The seats themselves are fairly comfortable, but they don't feel especially special by any means at all. We've got some relatively rough fabric in certain places. If you do go for one of the higher trims, you do get some nice accenting in terms of stitching. So if you go for the lavender version of the Aygo X, you get some pink and different coloured stitching, which is quite nice. Nice bit of personality there. But on a long journey, they're not too bad. They do support you in a good way. They're a little bit adjustable, so we have got adjustment for height here and on the back as well. But yeah, they're lacking in certain areas, but they're not too bad at all. Now, in terms of tech, we have 2 different screens you can choose from. This one is the entry-level one, and it is 9 inches in size. There is support for wireless Apple CarPlay, although it is a little bit laggy when you are relaying it from your phone. It almost seems like your phone's overheating, but it's perfectly fine. If you go for the top 2 trims, including the GR Sport, you get a larger 10-inch screen as standard with an actual volume knob. Below that screen, we have a very tactile and very easy to use climate control system with some controls on either side for temperature and the fan speed, and some buttons as well. This one being the design trim, we do have a wireless phone charger included as standard, which is great news, and then also 2 USB-C ports. Look at this. The rear doors don't open that wide. If you have got kids, this could be a deal breaker. If I try and get in the back, and this driver's seat is set up in my driving position, and I'm around 5'7" in height, the space is quite limited. However, the seats themselves, they do sculpt inwards, so you don't end up with as little legroom as it does seem on camera. But yeah, for families and regular use, the Aygo X could be a bit of a challenge. Around back, the design is pretty much the same as the outgoing version, which is actually no bad thing. While the front design has changed a lot, it looks like a completely different car really, the rear design, as I said, is exactly the same. We've got the Toyota badge here, got the Aygo X branding as well, got a rear wiper, which is great to see, and we have got a completely glass tailgate, which like an outgoing VW Up. One thing I want to mention before we go any further is the odd design of the roof. It's got these weird undulations in it, and it just looks a little bit strange. It almost could be done for aero. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Other cars like the Peugeot RCZ have had that for aero, and because the Aygo X is quite efficient in terms of miles per gallon, that could be a good reason for it. But yeah, a little bit strange. So the boot itself is completely glass, as I mentioned earlier, and it is a manual tailgate. The width itself isn't massive by any means, so there is a lot of space lost here with the rear lights, but it is a pretty good opening nonetheless. In here we do have 231 litres of boot space, which is actually rather good for cars of this class. While the legroom itself isn't really anything to shout about, I think Toyota have prioritised the boot space, which is more important for day-to-day stuff really. It does go down rather far. There isn't any space underneath the false floor because the batteries are basically in there, and yeah, it's a good opening really. And also you can fold these seats down completely, which does provide a lot more space. Just pull these rubber tabs and they do fold down, not obviously flat, but they do provide a good amount of space. There is a parcel shelf cover, but it is a little bit flimsy. Just feels like some cloth.
It's because it is.
Yeah. So in terms of ride comfort, the Aygo X actually feels really quite grown up and quite premium compared to a lot of cars of this kind of size and the price point. Bumps and undulations and the usual potholes we find on UK roads don't really seem to upset it, and it does seem to be coping quite well with a lot of different types of roads. The ride itself, as I said, is actually quite premium feeling. It feels a lot more grown up than other cars would be, and it kind of makes sense because the Aygo X does sit on the existing Yaris platform. The only real problem is the road noise at higher speeds. Obviously, being quite a small, relatively affordable hatchback, there's not a lot of sound insulation in here, so yeah, the actual road noise and all the noise entering the cabin can be a tad jarring at times, but it kind of is what a car of this sort of size, kind of what you would expect from it. And also, when the engine is under some kind of load, it has a very gruff sound to it, and it's not when you're doing that much with it. It just seems to be relatively intrusive and does seem to kick in at relatively low speeds. Yeah, just accelerating up this hill, very, very loud and very gruff. And I can imagine for a certain type of person who is used to a manual car, that would sound like it's not very healthy for the engine, but it is just one of the characteristics of this car. It's absolutely fine. It just doesn't sound very nice. And then at town speeds, you can run the whole car in EV only mode. And that means the small battery, which I mentioned earlier, will kick in and give you a bit of boost in between the engine not having enough performance to do so. But when the battery itself is charged to a sufficient level, you can actually run the whole car in EV only mode. And there is a button for that in the center console. So if I click EV mode, it is unavailable at certain speeds, so if I run the car in eco mode here, so it's not available right now, but it has got its automatic EV mode, and it does become nice and quiet. And it's almost a shame when that engine does kick in because it is so gruff sounding. I think for how refined the EV mode is in the Aygo, in the future, a fully electric Aygo might be a wonderful thing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I would love to see a little city car like the Aygo X be turned into just a bespoke EV. I think that'd be great. Now, since the Aygo became the Aygo X in 2022, the ride height got increased and the driving position became a little bit taller. And that means you have what is a very small hatchback and a crossover melded into one. And what you have as a result is quite a nice small car that's very easy to drive around town, but it has that nice elevated driving position. Now, that means I can see a lot out of the window in front of me. The driver's seat goes up really, really far. There's a lot of glass in here, so the visibility is actually quite good. Where it does fall apart, however, is the visibility out the back. The rear window itself isn't that wide, so it is quite narrow, and the C-pillars are incredibly large for a car of this size. So the visibility out the back isn't so good. So when you are approaching a junction, the visibility out that section of the car, it is a little bit tricky at times, but in terms of the forward view, it's completely fine. Now, thanks to that hybrid system, the performance on the Aygo X is rather good if you can get over that gruff sounding engine. That is kind of discouraging you from accelerating at higher speeds, because when you are accelerating at a normal level, it is kicking in and being quite loud and quite gruff. It's a very similar system to what you find in the Honda Jazz. There isn't a gearbox by any means, there is an eCVT system. But that hybrid system is it does perform relatively well. We have got, as I said earlier, 114 brake horsepower. 0 to 60 is in around 9.2 seconds, so not a slow car by any means, but there is a good amount of performance. Thanks to that hybrid system and the electric motors and that battery doing its job, the acceleration is quite good actually, and it does perform quite well around town. While the car is in its EV mode, it does seem quite nippy and quite eager to accelerate. So we have got a D and B mode, and there is quite a clever de-acceleration system at hand. So when the car in front of you is slowing down at traffic lights, the whole car itself will basically brake assist, and you'll slow down together, which is quite nice. And there are actually two black lights in the driver's display, so you know when the brake lights are on. And that's not typically something you find in a car of this price point, really. The D mode is just normal driving, and then the B mode is essentially engine braking, like you might find in the Prius, for example, or one of the electric ID range, so it's pretty good. And that just gives you a bit of extra braking performance, get a bit more regen back in the battery. And the regen level at default is actually not bad. It's, I think I could say 10% potentially. And also the brakes are really good. With the Aygo X Hybrid, Toyota removed the drum brakes on the back, and they've added disc brakes all round. And that really isn't something you find on a car of this price and its size. It's typically something you find in more premium hatchbacks, so that's quite good really. Now also, the efficiency. This efficiency is it blows anything else out the water of this kind of size, and again, its price point. Now, all versions of the Aygo X get the same hybrid system, so it's that 1.5 litre engine, and the MPG is quoted at 74 MPG, which is just bonkers. It's such a massive step up in terms of efficiency and the amount of miles you can get out of a tank. I've been seeing, over the last 750 miles of driving I've done in this car, 68.1 MPG. And I've done a lot of motorway stuff at 70 miles an hour, done a lot of B road stuff, done a lot of A road stuff as well. And I am really, really impressed with the fuel efficiency of this car. It's got quite a small fuel tank, it's 30 litres. And yeah, in a time where fuel is really expensive at the moment and having an efficient car is really, really important, I'm really, really impressed with what you can get in terms of MPG out of the new Aygo X. And while I'm not testing motorway performance today, when you do take the car on the motorway, you have got adaptive cruise control, and that's a standard fit thing on every trim level. Again, even that base level model called the Icon has adaptive cruise as standard, and I'm quite impressed with its performance. You've got automatic steering and to keep you in lane, you've got adaptive speed control, you've got so many safety systems on this car. It is rather impressive. And also goes without saying, because it is so small and quite tiny and wee, you can get it into spaces very easily. You can chuck it into places, just places that larger cars that we're used to now just don't fit in. Obviously, it sounds ridiculous because this is obviously a very small car. It obviously goes with the whole package, but it is quite surprising. I drive a lot of big cars all the time, and review a lot of big cars, and it is just quite refreshing getting in what is quite a small, tiny car, and it just fits in places. This is a lot more suitable for UK roads than any of the big cars are ever going to be, I think. Now, in terms of ADAS systems, there's a lot of stuff on this vehicle, way more than any small city car would ever have. And that is one of the reasons why it's a bit more expensive than it kind of used to be. We've got driver monitoring systems, which is a little bit annoying in my opinion. It can be a bit intrusive and very sensitive. There's speed limit systems as well. But they all do a job, and they all are designed to make driving a little bit safer, but at times something like the driver monitoring system can be a little bit annoying. Now, all in all, I am actually really, really impressed with how this car drives. It's very nice to drive, it's very comfortable for such a small car. The only downside is that loud engine, which is a bit of a shame, but all in all, I'm actually rather impressed. So overall, what do I think about the new hybrid Toyota Aygo X? Well, I think in terms of design, it looks fantastic. The front design here looks really, really good. As I said, it's got elements of the RAV4 in it, and it looks really modern and quite aggressive. And it actually looks like a bigger car than it actually is. To drive, it's actually really refined and feels like quite a grown-up car. However, when you do push the car a little bit faster in terms of motorway driving, that engine is quite abrasive and quite loud. So it does not as refined to drive at higher speeds, but round town and using the EV mode is fantastic. And also the headline stat, the MPG, it is really exceptional. I've been seeing around 70 MPG, just very mixed driving over the past few hundred miles, and it is just completely impressive, really. It's very good. However, I'd love to hear your thoughts about the new hybrid Aygo X in the comments down below. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again next time.